Follow the money. That's what I always say. You always follow the money. Yeah.
This is Follow the Money with Mitch Moss and Pauly Howard on VSiN.
Here we go. Welcome in. It is Follow the Money on VSiN, the Sports Betting Network. Mitch Moss along with Pauly Howard. We are live in downtown Las Vegas from the Circa Resort and Casino. Very busy, action-packed 3-hour program today. Playoff numbers across the board. Player props for tonight. Door 1, door number 2 coming up a little bit later on, including NFL MVP numbers in that segment. MLB awards, blind resume, live betting Major League Baseball. Great guests on the program today as well. Brad Powers on college football, Aaron Renning on the NBA, and Matt Humans a little bit later on in the show today as well, Pauly. Last night, another good game in the NBA. Exciting, high-paced, a lot of points scored. 43 in the first quarter for the Pacers, and I guess, you know what? Good job out of you. You trusted Halliburton, right, with the comments after the previous game where he said, I wasn't happy with myself. Thinking back, I walked the ball up too many times. That's not going to happen. We're going to put the foot on the gas, and that's exactly what they did. And the Pacers, quite frankly, are a better basketball team than the Knicks. The series price was a little too high on New York, and these individual game point spreads, again, they don't make any sense.
No. They are the better team. I think to be catching 5 tomorrow is also absurd.
Agreed.
You just see how much depth they have, and the whole floor, spread them out, and so many guys can shoot. And the conundrum for Tibbs, you know, they're hunting Brunson. He can't guard anyone. He's been in foul trouble. Same with Cat. When Towns and Brunson have been on the floor together in the series, they've been outscored by 24 points. Big, but I certainly expected a bounce back, but not a historic performance with 32, 13, and 15 with 0 turnovers, what he did.
What a game.
I mean, it was an all-timer, right?
That really was.
That no one's done this, what he did in the playoffs as well. But, you know, it's the same thing with Minnesota, which we'll talk about coming up. The Knicks had 17 turnovers. And if you're going to turn the ball over against these guys, good luck.
Yeah, they'll turn it into fast break points before you can blink, right? They're going to go from point A to point B in 2 seconds. Right. There was a spot right away in the game last night where you could tell the Pacers were trying to set the tone. It was very early on, like first minute or 2 of the game, where the Knicks scored a basket, and then they inbounded the basketball, and the Pacers went 1,000 miles an hour, and they responded by scoring 4 seconds later. It's just like, it's going to be one of those kind of games, huh? So if you notice that right away, you're like, yeah, this is Halliburton was onto something here. Knicks are going to play with them. We got to get involved in the in-play betting numbers to go over now.
I saw as high as 248.5.
Yeah.
Why are they running with them?
It makes no sense.
Everyone talked about whoever wins this series, pace will be key.
Right.
And the Knicks were supposed to take the air out of the ball. They're running with. They can't run with them. They don't have depth. In Indiana, this is what they want you to do. They're going to wear you out. Start strong, close fast, use their depth, and how great they are offensively. And again, we talked about coming into the series, their effective field goal percentage was number 1 all time in the first 2 rounds, but and that continues.
What did that total officially move, by the way, before tip-off? Was it 2.5 points?
222 to 219.
Yeah, so I mean, there you go. And so in the Killer Sports Challenge that we have on VSiN.com, I had a feeling that the number was going to go down, trying to read the market. I played the under last night, and I had 2.5 points of closing line value. End of the first quarter, no chance. Bet was dead.
Yep, it was.
Knew immediately. Not even end of the first quarter. 5 minutes into the game, probably.
Yep.
So, and again, 5 points for the Knicks to be laying in game 5. How?
I don't understand what they're watching.
No?
Yep. Because someone is going to go off for Indiana and help out Halliburton. It's just they have too many good players. So whether it's Siakam, who killed you in game 2 and was also great last night, giving you 30. Yeah. Mathurin, who was not playing well. Our McConnell stuff lost, but Mathurin was great. There's just so many guys that can beat you, and I think they're gonna give OKC a hell of a series. And I think you got to grab the 5 tomorrow as well. Absolutely.
Yeah, I will say from a player,
they've won 6 in a row on the road in the playoffs.
Yeah, from a player prop standpoint in this series, I think I'm going to tap out. I can't figure it out.
I know.
I'm on the right guy in the wrong game.
Yeah, just like the Randall stuff. So good. First 2 rounds, goes off early in the series, no-show game 2, comes back, great performance, no-show game 4. Sure. Well, I was a spectator. Well, you scored 5 points. What are you doing? Right? Some of this it's bizarre what's happening with the player props.
Yeah, because I bet Mathurin in games 1 and 2 based on his history against the Knicks. Bet him pretty nice and had no chance. And I thought for sure he was in the doghouse going into the game last night. Well, that was quickly wiped away. And the guy that I was on was McConnell because of various reasons. And nope, not getting the job done last night. Bad job by me with the player prop bets. Not coming through there. But again, if I had to make one bet right now in that game, it would certainly be the Pacers plus the 5. So take that for what it's worth. Yeah. And then we do get into the game tonight as well. And I don't know. You mentioned this early yesterday on the show when, I want basically no part of, and I have Minnesota at 40-1 to win the West. It's a dead ticket. They're not going to come back and beat this team 3 times in a row. But I think this team is too good, and I think they have too many guys who play with pride and are dogs out there in the court and care and have the passion, like an Anthony Edwards, because I don't think he had a good game the other night. Man, you said maybe bet him early, first quarter, first half.
Yes, if they show up, it's got to be first half.
I would agree.
And because OKC is so good in the second half, yep. It's a lot of points, but it's also Minnesota was so good offensively with the others, and they still lost the game. But what we just talked about, turnovers. This is from Brian Windhorst, ESPN. At one point in the last game, OKC attempted 23 more shots than Minnesota.
Oh, killed them.
I mean, Minnesota still should have won that game. That's a 2-point game. Yeah. DiVincenzo 20, what Walker did, and you still lose the game. So if they take care of the ball and they're able to knock it down from 3, Randall has to be better. He was horrific. And I would think you get aggressive Ant. So if you want to get Ant props, go ahead. I just can't imagine he comes out and isn't aggressive as well. And I'm sure Finch mentioned something to him, but this is a good one, I think, tonight for props because, again, I trust Walker. Again, I trust SGA, which I'll talk about in a second. Dan Karpuk's got a great write-up today on vsin.com about Nas rebounds over. Mm-hmm. He's 5.5 at Caesars. Right. He's at 8, 8, 8, and 6. Why'd it go down?
Well, because it was 6.5 last time when he stayed under. But it probably, I would agree, I think it probably should be 6.5.
This is it now. You lose, it's over. Right.
No,
you got to compete tonight. Everyone, all hands on deck.
Yeah. Gobert actually had some moments in the previous game. So maybe that's the thought is there that Gobert might get a little bit more run than normal tonight than Naz Reid, and I think that might be a little bit correlated. But for sure, you got to expect maybe you want to go Ant Edwards like first quarter points over. He's heard about it now for 2 full days.
Yeah.
There's no doubt that he has.
Yeah. So, plus, if you're going to go out, you got to go down firing. You got to go down shooting. Not going to go out and be not going to be aggressive again. So,
and this is a guy who we documented this. I think it was in the previous series against Golden State that after a loss, for the most part, Anthony Edwards comes out in the next game, man, and he goes guns a-blazing.
Yep.
And he usually produces.
Yep. Williams has also been a stud, and he was awesome in the last game as well. He's 21.5. So bounce back for Randall, should be 16.5. And Ant's 26.5 at DraftKings. The series price is up. OKC is 5.25 against the Pacers. I think the Pacers can give them problems.
It's heavy duty, man. That is a big number.
Because it'll be fascinating because you got the number one offense, like what they're doing right now through the playoffs against the number one defense.
I mean, I think out of all the teams in the East, and I said this, we'll never find out, but I thought the Celtics would have gotten crushed against Oklahoma City in a 7-game series. I think the Knicks, that would be a 4 or a 5-game series against OKC. I think OKC would do whatever they want against them. I think a fully healthy Cavs team against OKC would have been a lot of fun. A lot of fun.
Yeah.
But this Pacers team, I think out of all the 4 teams I just mentioned, would be, public enemy number 1 here for the Thunder. I think that's the last team that they want to see and play in a 7-game series.
Yep, absolutely. Mm-hmm. How'd you feel about the other game? Very disappointed in your question to Davis. Skinner is locked in, my friend. Dialed in. He's walking out there like Vince McMahon, as he said. This run that this guy's on,
you're going to end
nuts.
up jinxing this, aren't you?
Get out of here. Love the guy. Come on. This is doable now. He gives up 1 goal. He's strong again. Can they close him out on the road? I don't know. I think you dismiss what happened in the 3rd period of Game 1.
Yeah, but will voters?
The biggest thing you have to overcome, he wasn't there for the first 6 wins. Yeah. That's the thing that's going to get you. But so be 95-1 yesterday, and now you're seeing as low as 40-1 for Conn Smythe. What this guy is doing in Game 4s, 6-0 with a 1-2-6, 2 shutouts. In Games 4 through 7 of a series career, 13-1. And then he's unbelievable in closeout games. So now you got that in your back pocket tomorrow, too. Okay. Come on, Skinner.
So what if he loses tomorrow night 3-2?
It's okay.
I'm not going to go anything crazy here. I'm not going to say like he gets blasted 6-1 because that would probably do it. But I do think that, again, it's an award. We're talking about Stuart Skinner to win the Conn Smythe. It's an award for the entire playoffs.
Mm-hmm.
And what you said is absolutely accurate, I think. And we'll detail this coming up a little bit more in about 30 minutes.
But it's a fascinating discussion because if you're going to get Florida against Edmonton, they're both deep and so many guys. What are we up to? Like 19 different guys have scored?
Mm-hmm.
So if you're winning low-scoring games, that takes off Bob. And then I have to maybe look at Skinner and this defense and what they're doing.
Well, I will say this. The part where, to me, Skinner and his candidacy here actually started to maybe you could make a case for it. The back-to-back shutouts against the Golden Knights to cap off the series?
Yeah.
I mean, are you serious?
Mm-hmm.
When they had to kind of have that? And that's exactly how he delivered. And so I said at the time when it was over with, I don't know. I mean, I know he didn't even play the whole series, but I think he probably would have been the MVP with how it finished of that series against Vegas. So I think he needs to have another great game and a win in Game 5. That's it. No more. Finish him off. And then they got to be low-scoring games, and they have to win the Cup.
There's a path because they're so strong defensively. There's a path here. Definitely.
He's 19-1 here at Circa.
Whoa.
Yeah.
What is Davis doing? He must have said no ma. Something came in. Oh, my God. He's given up 1 goal or fewer in 5 of his last 6 starts, 3 shutouts. It's an all-time redemption arc. It's a good tweet we got. That's exactly right.
I've had people reach out to me to say he's absolutely got a pulse.
Damn right. There is a path. Now, Hyman's out for the series.
Yep.
That's big.
The big.
But you might get Ekholm back, and if you all these guys are guy scores here, Nugent Hopkins here, Draisaitl gets 1. I think Draisaitl's got a better case than McDavid, actually.
So do I.
All right.
Right up next, we'll update live numbers, MLB scoreboard, and talk about tonight's schedule here on VSiN.
This is Follow the Money on VSiN.
A lot of day baseball today on the card. A couple of games are in the books as we speak. The Guardians came roaring back against the Dodgers. They were a nice dog today at home. They put up 5 in the 8th to win that game 7-4. Something to monitor here is that Kershaw today, overall, not awful, but I think you need to circle him like every time that he starts and take a peek at the K props. It was 3.5 today, stayed under.
Okay.
Some spots maybe had a 4.5 out there on him as well. He only had 3 in that game. And the Tigers were down 3-0 to the Giants. They came back to win. So they are now tied with the Phillies for most wins in May. Tonight's game against the Braves for Philadelphia rained out, rescheduled, part of a doubleheader tomorrow. And quickly on the forecast, it looks like 85% chance of rain tomorrow in Philadelphia.
Oh, boy.
So for those of us holding Tigers tickets, yeah, let it rain, my friends. Let's get about 4 feet of rain. 4 inches, I mean. I'm talking about snow now. I'm from the Midwest, sorry. A bunch of rain, cancel the games. But there's also a couple of other teams that have a path here, and that would be St. Louis playing today against the Orioles. They have 17 wins. They're 1 back. And will the Cubs lose again?
They keep playing the Rockies.
Rockies today.
Bad teams, yep.
Reds 2 times tomorrow and Saturday.
I can make the case for Colorado today, believe it or not, plus 285.
You cannot.
Gordon was good last time out. He's from the area. There'll be a lot of family and friends there. And you got a low total because of the weather. And maybe they can win. I mean, almost won last night. Maybe they win a low-scoring game here. Oh, my God, it's 3-1.
3-1 on them.
3-24 on the road, hitting 193. Also take a look at maybe some stolen. Cubs stole 6 bags yesterday as well. So they also set the record. They've lost 21 straight series. No one has done that. I don't even think that Cleveland Spider team in 1899 did. So this is just much more open. But he shut down the Yankees on Friday. So maybe can they win like a 3-2 game and get a couple off Boyd and he's able to contain this Cubs offense. It's averaging 6 a game.
I did have a guy tell me once who I did respect a lot. He's no longer with us. He said, anytime you give me 3-1 on a baseball game, I got to consider it. Mm-hmm. It doesn't matter. Anytime.
Well, we're getting there now.
It's
Here we are.
all-time bad with Colorado.
Yes, it is.
You know?
Yep.
So, oh, boy. It hurts that the Cubs are just so damn good. But hence the number, obviously.
Well, Marquez did a good job. So, I mean, even though they got a potent offense, you got a total of 8. Weather could be a problem.
Weather could be yep.
Should they really be 370? Can they be maybe Gordon can get it done. You never know.
What did you make of the Diamondbacks? Well, first of all, if you had
Ridiculous.
them, and I know people who did on it to like
I had them.
Cap.
Couldn't believe it. You got Burns You're a 270 favorite, but it's 6-0. But it's 6-0 against the Pirates, who can't hit.
Yeah.
And they tied the record for consecutive games, 4 runs or fewer. And their bullpen is so freaking bad. And they blow. It's 6-2 in the 8th, and they blow it, and they lose the game.
Lost the game. I know people who had the Diamondbacks to cap off a moneyline parlay yesterday.
Sure, of course.
So that one felt good for them, obviously. Skeens was a dog today.
No, I can't be. Arizona's scuffling big time, and you can't trust Gallen anymore either. So
Skeens, his K-prop was 6.5. Over was plus money. He has 4 right now in the bottom of the third. I will point this out because now, Cruz, check that. For the Diamondbacks, trying to refresh my app here. Carroll has batted. He's leading off today. So they have 2, 3, and 4 coming up in their half of the inning. Gallen's numbers overall, this is so weird because he's at home. I had that flipped. So let me point this out. Gallen last year at home, 3.36 with a home ERA, 4.02 on the road. In 2023, 2.47 home ERA versus 4.42 on the road. It's backwards this year. Mm-hmm. He's much better on the road than he is at home. And the second time through the order, which is what the Pirates are now going to be throwing at him here as we're talking about this live, his ERA goes up to 5.18 with a 36% hard hit rate. And if he makes it to the third time through against this Pirates team with O'Neill Cruz leading off today, his ERA goes all the way up to 6.75 in the game. And all of his numbers just get worse, like in every single category. Mm-hmm. So keep in mind when that's going to be happening maybe a little bit later on here.
And we're underway in San Diego. Oh, Sandy. He would be the first pitcher in Marlins history to lose 8 straight starts. 0-7 with an ERA of 9 and change. Mm-hmm. By the way, Machado's crushed him. 9 for 12 against him career. So how about that beat? Who had that? Who had that yesterday? If you had Miami first 5 or plus a half a run. 6-0 in the first inning. No soup for you.
Yep.
7-6 Padres.
You're trailing. And the guy who was pitching, Kolak, for the Padres, who gave up 6 in the first, he got the win.
What?
Yeah.
They kept him in?
How about that?
You're kidding.
That's
like the Chan-Ho Park thing. Gave up 2 grand slams in the same inning. Yeah. Oh, my God. I didn't know that.
So that game just started. I have Sandy's outs prop under.
Yes.
Because, his numbers are so bad. But here's something that we want to pay attention to throughout the duration of the show again. In the second inning, his ERA is 6.30. That number jumps to 8.31 in the third inning. And also, the longer that Sandy's been in games so far this year, the second time through the order, his ERA goes to 7.64 with a 14.3% walk rate and a 1.70 whip. If you think that's bad, the third time through the order for Sandy Alcantara, his ERA is higher than 18.
Boy, oh boy.
So that's one of the reasons why I bet his outs prop under 17.5 today. The FIP is about 8. The whip is 2.45, and the walk rate, again, is higher than 14%. It's just, those numbers are so bad. If his name was not Sandy Alcantara, he would not be with the big club. There's no way.
Yep. You briefly mentioned the Baltimore game. They can't be favored. St. Louis is playing great ball. Michaelis, they've won 5 in a row when he starts. Baltimore, most home runs allowed. They're on pace to give up the 5th most all time.
Ooh.
I can't believe the price here. The other thing is O'Hearn did it again. He's hitting .570 last 7 games. He goes deep and cashes a nice ticket.
That kid is blazing hot.
Yeah, someone had like a 2-team parlay that paid $30,000. Him and some other guy to go deep.
What?
This crazy, yeah. And then De La Cruz was 80-1 to hit too. So I take the Cardinals there. I see a lot of guys like Pauly outs under with the strand rate, and he can't keep this up with his numbers. Vlad might be able to touch him up, and he's reached base 27 in a row. Yankees also own lefties. They're $1.60 against Kikuchi, soft mattress. You got number 1 OPS against lefties, and runs per game, what they've done as well.
They're number 1 across the board, in every single major metric against left-handed pitchers.
Not to mention what Judge does. Goldschmidt's hitting .533 against lefties this year. How about that?
Wow.
Look at his props, and I'll give you another one. Cameron goes for the Royals. Sorry, I gave out a loser yesterday. It was 2-2 in the 6th. Kansas City couldn't get anything done offensively. Cameron would be the second pitcher since 1893 to start first 4, give up an earned 1 run or fewer allowed. What he's done, look at his ERA.
That's very good.
Look what this kid's done.
And also the Reds against lefties are nothing to write home about. They're 20th in WRC+. Right. They're 18th in ISO rate. They're bottom half of the league in OPS, and they do have a pretty decent K rate, but that's about it. And a little bit more here on the Kikuchi game tonight. Again, the Yankees their numbers against lefties are unbelievable this year. Lefties are also 8-4 under their K prop against the Yankees on the season. There's also this, Pauly, if you want to attack the first 5, Yankees are 30, 16-8 in the first 5 this season. The Angels are 18, 25, and 11. Again, you're going to have a lot of pushes in the first 5, a lot of ties. But with Schmidt going, and Kikuchi has been better now, basically in the month of May than he was in April. So he's getting the better sleep that he needs.
Mm-hmm.
Yankees $1.56 here at Circa on the run line. They're plus 105. They're going to be batting in the top of the 9th inning, obviously, which is big. And the Angels have an atrocious bullpen. So I think you can maybe split your bets up if you want. You can maybe take a little Yankees in the first 5, maybe even lay a half run in the first 5, and then also maybe do like a half a unit on Yankees run line for the game.
Sounds good. We could do something in play here with the Astros if you want to. A's bullpen's a joke. A's have the 3rd worst bullpen, and they have the most walks allowed. So if you want to jump in on the Astros, $1.70.
Well, that's something to also file away moving forward. Hunter Brown went over his K-prop yesterday. Today, McCullers, his strikeout numbers have been now really, really good over the last 3 games. He had 12 today through 6. The A's are striking out a lot here now in recent games.
Get on the action at First Bet. They have you covered. Sign up now. Exclusive promotions. Bet on hundreds of great horse races every day, right from your phone or computer. Visit firstbet.com. Promo code VSIN200. Get a 20% rebate on all your wagers for the first 60 days. Up to $200. Don't miss out. Start betting today. Firstbet.com.
All right, up next, let's follow the money here on VSIN, the Sports Betting Network. Just when you thought you had enough sports going on, right? Well, college football, numbers are popping pretty much all over the map now. Win totals up, week 0, week 1 numbers as well. Conferences, obviously. The Heisman stuff's been up for a long time. And professional sports bettor Brad Powers is going to join the program. We'll kick around what he's been betting. And also, is this official? Brad now, pro bettor, been in Las Vegas for more than a decade. He's taking off. He's leaving.
I think he had enough. I want to hear his answer, his reason.
He's tapping out. He's moving out of Las Vegas?
Yep.
Wow. That's... I wonder if sports betting is the reason why.
And
I don't know.
Where is he headed to?
Yeah, and which state is he going to go to then? Mm-hmm. As a guy who's been, because he shares all of his bets, he does a majority of it here at Circa. So is he going to be moving to a state with Circa, somewhere else? We'll kick around all that with Brad Powers, pro sports bettor, next year, and follow the money. It's VSIN, the Sports Betting Network.
This is Follow the Money on VSIN.
With some college football here with Brad Powers, professional sports bettor, been on this show and other shows here on the network on a weekly basis throughout the football season now for several years. And he is on the progressive guest line. We'll get some best bets from him coming up in a second, but it's official now, Brad. You are out of Las Vegas. You moved away from this great city, and you've been here betting professionally now for more than a decade. Was sports betting a reason why?
No, not the major reason why. Although let's be honest, I mean, it's not like I would put Nevada as the greatest state in the world to sports betting in at least derivative markets, so to speak. So I mean, when 80% of the handle in the country is by 2 sports books that the state of Nevada doesn't have, I mean, it's sometimes tough talking to customers where, well, I can't bet that in this state. I mean, legally, so to speak, I got to drive to Arizona. So, I mean, there's that. But, I mean, it was more personal. I mean, I got some aging parents that have a lot of land. I got to be closer to them. And then me personally, I was just, outside of sports betting in Vegas, the landscape of Nevada is not, call me, grew up in a very sheltered life, but a lot of the things that go on there on a day-to-day basis, it's not for me. There's a homeless problem in Nevada, and I don't want to take up the whole segment, but there's a lot of things I don't like. Crime, all that in Nevada that I'm old and tired and don't want to deal with it on a daily basis.
Good luck to you.
Yeah, fair enough.
Very good. The last time we talked to you in January, you said your bets, you were going to monitor and watch what you bet and maybe not get as involved as much in the summer with volume. Is that true so far?
It is true. And not, I already anticipated it probably. but twofold. One, even for a guy like myself that likes to think I can price uncertainty, there's more uncertainty than ever before. Why? Well, I mean, on a per team basis, even compared to last season, I'm not comparing it to 3 years ago or 10 years ago. Last season, 3 less returning starters per team on an average basis this year compared to last year. Also, I'm a big spring game guy. I watch 50 plus every year for the last 10 years. This year, 12. Why? They didn't televise them. So a lot of maybe extra nuggets that I'd like to pick up in a 2-hour viewing period didn't happen. On top of that, I mean, I think a lot of the markets have been relatively slow. Now everything's up now, but it should be. I mean, we're post Memorial Day now. So now we finally have some week 1 on all games. We have group of 5 win totals finally get posted. So it's been a little slow just because of, there's more roster turnover than ever before. And I think myself and the market in general, there's a little bit of hesitation to pull and trigger. With that being said, I've still made like 80 bets.
Yeah. Okay. Well, I know that some coaches have said this, and out here locally, I think this made some national news. UNLV coach Dan Mullen, the new coach out here, said, let's just have like 1 period for the portal. Can't we just all agree on that? Does that make sense to you?
Yes. Yeah. Post, the one that happens post regular season would be ideal instead of having to do it all over again, post spring. Although with that being said, I mean, the spring portal movement, did it impact the Georgias, the Ohio States, the Notre Dames of the world this go around? It didn't. Okay. It was mainly backup players that weren't going to start at bigger places or, a few key guys. I mean, there's teams at the G5 level that lost 4 or 5 starters. So, it didn't impact the higher ups of college football. But if you're paying attention to some of the lower levels, I mean, it certainly did. But it would be easier for me if it was just one. But we'll see. I mean, everything's on the table when it comes to college football and the ever-changing sport.
Right. Was there a game? So books now are posting this stuff, and they have now for a good week or so. We're talking, week 0 games, week 1 numbers, beyond that as well. Was there a game or multiple games that you saw and you're like, wait a second here, my number is like kind of like way off of that? That's not the right number, or were they pretty close to where your numbers are at?
Yeah, believe it or not, I would, I've been doing this a decade plus. I thought it was the best release of like a full board at this point in the season that I've come across. Now, maybe that's a weakness in my own ratings that I'm not, adjusting for some reason, but I thought they did a pretty good job. With that being said, I made a ton of bets. Now, I'd already been pretty much involved with all the marquee games, your Ohio State, Texas, Notre Dame, Miami, TCU, North Carolina. We go down the list. I bet all them games. But some of the lower level games, I thought a few were off 3+ points. I'll give you one. A little bit in the weeds. I like Arizona. Lay it if you Arizona against Hawaii. I laid 10.5. So that's one. I haven't told anybody, but telling you guys.
Thank you.
That one is going to close 2 touchdowns.
Wow.
Oh, wow. Okay. All right.
Thank you. Are you involved with TCU going against Belichick to start?
I am. I like TCU. It's a bet that I made. And you know me, I made it a couple points ago, but I still think it's holding value. I think TCU should be favored. I think they're clearly the superior team. I like TCU generally speaking this year. I bet over their win total. That's still 6.5. I bet on the other side, I bet North Carolina under the win total. I am not buying Belichick. I'm not buying Belichick, period. For the longest time, that whole debate, Belichick or Brady, who should get the most credit, I was actually team Belichick for a long time until I wasn't. And now I think we got enough of a sample size, 10+ years, nearly 200 games without Tom Brady behind center. He's a below 500 coach. He's 70+ years old. He's never coached at the college level. I'm not a big fan of his assistant or support staff that he's put together. I'm not a big fan of him as a GM, period, or anybody. He's got the evaluating talent there. I think it's not a good sign that you're going out getting your starting quarterback post spring. Name me all the teams that are expected to go 8-4, 9-3. How many of them are going out and getting your starting quarterback? None. The only one is North Carolina this offseason. So under 7.5 for me. TCU beats them outright. I think, and Mr. No Days Off, and that whole mantra. I mean, I'm seeing him on the beach playing footsie with the 20-year-old. I mean, I don't like the distractions.
Yeah, great. All right, coming heavy. You can answer this. I'd like you to answer this as a fan, and then as a bettor. You're concerned that they might take a sledgehammer to this sport, which now 16-team playoff, something that also was on the table, play-in games. top 2 teams in the conference would meet, and then you'd have 3 would play 6, 4 would play 5. The winners would meet. There was a scenario where maybe Iowa could have been a playoff team. I mean, you look at like a 6th-place team with all these tiebreakers, and a 7-5 team could be involved in this damn playoff.
Yeah, to me, I think the sledgehammer's already been used multiple times. It's already the sport that we grew up with, or anybody in any other generation has grown up with, is gone. And I'll give you one example. Let's just look at the defending national champs, Ohio State. In any other year in the history of college football, the Michigan loss would have ended their season, basically, as far as their chance to get to the national championship game. And yet, it didn't. And they won the national championship. And to me, I think college football would have been a little more interesting had they, that result ended it. And Ryan Day would be on the most unbelievable hot seat. But they stayed in it, and they were able to, win the national championship. Now, as a bettor, more games, the merrier. Keep adding teams from the FCS. We got 20 more teams than when I started 10 years ago. We've got more games. Keep adding in the playoff. That's fine. More games and more opportunities for value. But boy, as a fan, I don't like a lot of the changes.
Yeah, it's kind of like a wrecking ball to the sport now over the last several years. You mentioned that you've been betting like the marquee game.
Oh, look at the hat I'm wearing. SC. I mean, they're so gutless. They don't want to play Notre Dame. There's only 3 blue blood rivalries as far as, the 8 blue bloods in the sport. Obviously Oklahoma, Texas, Michigan, Ohio State, Notre Dame, USC play one another. And one of those is going to go by the wayside because they're going to listen to gutless Lincoln Riley. I mean, come on. I just think it's a joke.
No, it's super sad.
I mean, you blame Notre Dame. Oh, the Notre Dame series doesn't do anything for us anymore. Well, you joined the Big Ten. Whose fault is that? I mean, you don't want to make a bunch of cross-country trips anymore. Well, whose fault is that? That's SC's fault.
Awesome rant. Totally agree with what you just said there. How did you bet the Texas and Ohio State game, by the way? I'm looking at Ohio State about 3.5-point favorites now in that game.
I laid 2.5 with the Buckeyes. Not one of my favorite bets, but a bet I thought both teams are pretty similar. It's in Columbus, even though it's a big noon start and not a night kickoff. I think, generally speaking, Arch Manning's maybe a little bit overrated, and Texas, generally speaking, is a little overrated in the market. So I laid a little bit with the Buckeyes in that game, but not one of my favorite bets that I made. But a bet that I thought, hey, that's much more likely this closes 3 or above than gets any further than 2.5.
Yeah. Would you say that Arizona then against Hawaii is your best bet as of right now that's currently on the board?
It is not, but I will not, as of right now, until places like Circa open up, I will not say my absolute best bet because I'd like to get a little bit more on the game. So I will not. Let me say this, it's 2 G5 teams playing one another.
Totally fair. Totally fair. Great appearance, Brad. And hope everything with the move goes well and that everything in Ohio, I totally get it, man. Next to the parents back there as well, both Midwestern boys, Pauly is as well. So good luck with everything back there, and thanks for the time as always. We appreciate that.
Thanks for having me, guys. Take care.
Be good.
Stay in touch. Good luck.
He's on X at BradPower7, BradPowerSports.com.
Maybe we'll see him soon. We hit the road. Omaha, June 12th through the 14th. The iconic home of the Jello Shot Challenge. Rocco's. Catch money moves and follow the money live from Omaha. Special Saturday show, 9 to 12 local time. We're bringing the sights, sounds, and best bets from the tournament. If you're in the neighborhood, stop by, say hello. Omaha, College World Series, Rocco's. June 12th through the 14th.
Win, lose next. Stuart Skinner, awesome again last night. People reached out to me and said, this can happen. We'll compare Conn Smythe odds at different books next.
For the ones who get it done, the most important part is the one you need now. And the best partner is the one who can deliver. That's why millions of maintenance and repair pros trust Grainger, because we have professional-grade supplies for every industry, even hard-to-find products. And we have same-day pickup and next-day delivery on most orders. But most importantly, we have an unwavering commitment to help keep you up and running. Call, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
Last night? Wow, winning. Or was it a rough one?
Well, they can't all be winners, can they?
Loser! You're a loser! Pauly Howard recaps the night in sports betting in Win Some, Lose Some.
Wild night last night. Let's start in the NHL. Draisaitl first goal, 8-1. Kapanen anytime, 7-1. Henrique last goal, 26-1. Perry anytime goal plus 360. Oilers minus 2.5 goals. Alt line 3-1. Nugent Hopkins over 1.5 points plus 350. Oilers empty net goal plus 260. How about 2? Exact score 18-1. Skinner in games 4 through 7 of a series career 13-1. All time in a game 4. Game 4s, he's 6-0 with a 1-2-6 in 2 shutouts. Pacers Knicks game 4. Halliburton triple-double 16-1. It was the first 30-point, 15-assist, 0-turnover playoff game in the last 40 years. Oh, by the way, there's a triple-double, too. Siakam, 30-plus, 6-1. Halliburton, most rebounds, 60-1. It's a dead heat, though. Halliburton, most points.
I would take a dead heat at 60-1.
Yeah. So Halliburton led in points, rebounds, assists, threes, and steals.
Did he really?
Yeah.
The whole game.
How about it? Most points plus 550 at DraftKings. OG first basket 8-1. De La Cruz 2 bombs 80-1. WNBA Dallas got their first win, the over 160.5 up to 163.5. Chicago Phoenix over 154.5 to 159.5. Golden State New York under 168.5 to 163.5. Fell 162. Subscribe, be part of the team. VSiN.com. Our radio and podcast friends. You always want to see these tweets and videos. At Pauly Does Vegas on Instagram. Send them in. We'll put you on. Chris sent this in again. We played it before, but it's so good. Where the dog loves the towels on laying out on the stove, and she goes, "Don't do that." He just grabs them. He comes in, and the lady's yelling at him, "Don't touch that." He's going to grab it, right? She tells him. He stops, right? Wagging the tail. He thinks about it. No, I'm going to grab it. And then he runs off, grabs the towel, and then scoots off. That's his move. He loves the towels. Look at him. That's awesome. Hilarious. And how about I've never thought of this one. You take the dogs to the park, the big fella, right? He wants to go on the stroller. The hell with the baby. Push me around, right? I don't want this much exercise.
I see this every day.
Do you?
Every single day.
You're kidding.
Oh, no. Paul, now that we have a 1-year-old kid, the more I pay attention to this, carts are made specifically for babies and for dogs.
Oh,
you probably don't notice it because, you don't. I mean, you're not walking a kid, on a daily basis.
Okay.
But if you ever had one and slipped one past the goalie, you would notice it probably within the first 5 days.
Okay.
They're all over.
There you go.
Yep.
The dog in the stroller. Look at it. He loves it.
That's a big boy.
He's a big fella.
They're not always that big,
yeah.
but
he gets a workout with the knife and fork. Absolutely. He's awesome. So what's going on here? I give Jonathan Davis a lot of credit. He's been on this for weeks. Have you noticed all these games are blowouts in hockey?
I certainly have, yeah.
The last 9 games, the winning team has covered alt line minus 2.5 goals. 18 of the last 20 winners have covered the puck line. 14 of the last 18 have won by 3+ goals. All these games are blowouts.
Yeah, the games are not good.
You got to go back to
lately.
Game 6. Winnipeg-Dallas went to overtime. But going back to that series, Hellebuck had 2 shutouts, 4-0, 4-0. Then they got blown out in the other games in Dallas. We haven't had competitive games here. Other than, if you take out the Vegas-Edmonton series.
No, the two that are going on concurrently are bad series.
Yep.
They're not good.
No. 3-0, 5-2, 5-0, 5-2. Edmonton winning comfortably. Knicks under 229 to 219. No shot. Bad beats. A moose in San Diego. Marlins first 5, money line, and then plus half a run. It was 6-0 in the first inning.
This is the easiest prediction I'll make all day. That has to be on bad beats with Van Pelt and Stanford Steve. I think that's the worst beat of the year, maybe in any sport. In baseball, for sure, it's the worst beat. 6-0.
No good. 7-6 Padres after 5. Arizona minus 270. You're playing the Pirates who can't hit. 6-0 and then 6-2 in the 8th, and the bullpen blows it, as their bullpen's atrocious. And while we were talking about it, the Astros got 2 off the A's bullpen.
That was quick,
to lead 5-3. Smarter bets start with VSiN Pro. Now's the time to join. You got till Saturday. Lock in 14 months for just $199. 2 extra months free when you use promo code PRO at checkout. Less than 50 cents a day. The morning email from Bill 80. The betting splits. Every pick, every host, every guest. 24/7 live video. Dog videos that everyone loves. And the NFL betting guide dropping soon. Limited time offer. Get in here. VSiN.com/subscribe. Code PRO.
More numbers here on Stuart Skinner. He has allowed 1 goal or fewer in 5 of his last 6 starts and 3 shutouts. The comeback story here is live and well. Sportsnet stats on X. Skinner in closeout games, 5-1 overall, goals against 1.97, save percentage 926 with one shutout. And in the last 3 games...
And the loss was Game 7, Stanley Cup 2-1.
Yeah. Since the start of Game 2, Stars-Oilers, 13-2 in goals. Dallas, more shots on goal. They're 1 of 8 on the power play. And they have led for exactly 0% of the time in the last 3 games. That's incredible.
Mm-hmm.
So, Skinner, since he took the net back in the playoffs, 1.55 goals against with a 2.69 expected, 941 save percentage, 3 shutouts. He is the number 1 goalie in the playoffs in goals saved above expectations. His Conn Smythe odds are all over the map here at circa 19-1. Bet365 has 22-1, ESPN Bet 30, Caesars 45, FanDuel had 95 last night, down to 48 to 1 today. DraftKings 50, Westgate 60-1 on him.
Yeah. So, is it still worth a bet? Oh, I missed the number. It's still worth a bet.
I think 95 last night, fan. This is tough. I honestly don't think he's going to win, but 95. This is here. I'll sum it up. This is what David told me on Instagram last night. Great message. He said if you start right now and play out the playoffs 95 different times, he believes Skinner goes nuts and wins the award 2 to 3 times. It's a long way to go, but 95-1 is worth a shot, as he said last night. And I don't disagree with that.
Mm-hmm.
Now, can he overcome the likes of Draisaitl and McDavid on his own team?
Right.
Going to be very difficult.
Well, it's a great discussion. Remember what happened last year. Edmonton's down 3-0 in the final. Wait a second. They blow them out. Uh-oh, they win again. And then McDavid goes from plus money to a ridiculous favorite.
And he won the award on a losing team.
Yeah, they lost the series, but he won the award. But the other thing is, you can't kill him for what happened in the third period of Game 1. Tomorrow night's very important. But the thing that he wasn't there for the first 6 wins in the comeback, and it wasn't his fault. Not all of it was his fault, but he was so bad in the first 2 games of the LA series.
Right.
But there is a path here, which how well they're playing defensively and in these low-scoring games. And can you beat Florida again? And is it 2-1?
Well,
with a shutout maybe here, and it's possible. And like I said earlier, even though McDavid's a superstar and he's so good, and Gretzky and also Draisaitl, that these guys are beasts, you have so many different guys that are chipping in and scoring for Florida and Edmonton.
That will help, for sure, you would think anyway. You got to wonder how voters will look at it as well. Will they just say McDavid's too good, got to give it to him? Which, that's the lazy way out, but they could. Also, I went back and looked at all the goalies who have won the Conn Smythe, and for the purposes of this segment, I went back to the year 2000. Vasilevsky won it in 2021 with Tampa. He was 16-7 with a 1.90 goals against, 937 save percentage. All of these goalies had either 15 or 16 wins. Quick won it with the Kings in 2012. Tim Thomas the year before that. Cam Ward 2006. Your guy, Giguère 2003. Patrick Waugh 2001. They all had either 15 or 16 wins because they played the entire playoffs.
Yeah.
Their goals Quick had a 1.41 goals against.
Wow.
And a 946 save percentage. So their numbers are all better. But the longer Skinner plays here, and the more potential games that we have of 2-1 or 1-0 or whatever it might be, his numbers will only improve. The other night, hell, I mean, his save percentage, what? He saved 35 out of 36 shots or something like that?
Yeah, natural stat trick had it, though, that the last 2 periods, Dallas had 1 high danger chance. I mean, think about that. But, yeah, the numbers look great. The stats look good. And if you keep winning 3-1, put it right in his pocket.
Well, I'll say this.
As long as McDavid isn't scoring either. But you got a Perry goal, and you got the empty net goals from the unknowns, and yeah.
Here's what I do have going for me, and for anybody else who bet Skinner to win the Conn Smythe. The narrative has already started. People are already huge on this guy, and they're pushing it like they feel so good for him, and they fully believe like the reason why Edmonton is here is because of this guy's been so good in net. And this, maybe save their playoff season and their chances to win the entire thing.
Yeah.
That's not me talking. That's what I'm seeing and hearing people say.
Right. Then they had to have him in the Vegas series. To win an overtime 1-0, and then he had the other shutout.
Mm-hmm.
It wasn't like they were scoring 6 a game. Those are all low-scoring games. So, big tomorrow, though. Close them out. Got to close them out tomorrow. And
Give me 3-0 tomorrow.
That's right. Then it's really juicy.
Yeah.
And I can't kill them with the goals against, which is phony because of the 6 in game 1, which is the power play nonsense.
Yeah. This is not mission impossible. I'd call it mission difficult here to pull off. We'll update playoff numbers, NBA and the NHL up next, and give you some player props to consider for tonight. It's happened in all 4 games of the series, so we should consider it one more time tonight.